Hey guys, it's Gretchen and welcome back to my channel. It is that time of the month again where I answer your body mod questions. This is something that I do every single month, so if you would like to ask a question for March's body mods Q&A, which wow, we're already saying March, that's a lot, you can leave them either in the comments below, I will look at them there, or you can follow me on Instagram where I will post like a little question box saying if you have any that you want to ask, now's the time. And if you're new to this body mod Q&A, basically I just take this time to answer any questions regarding tattoos, piercings, extreme body mods, what have you, that come my way. I'm gonna start with the YouTube comments first and then go into the Instagram ones. If I don't answer your question specifically, it's either because it was already asked and I just got to that question first. Brandy asks, where do you find moonstone labraes? So this question is because both of my nostril piercings are moonstones and I've mentioned that they're labraes before. So I actually get mine from the shop where I get my piercings done. I'm sure you can probably find some online. I think I've seen some on Body Candy before, and I'm definitely sure that Body Art Forms probably has some as well, but the ones that I have myself came from the shop where I got all my piercings done. Kristen asks, have you ever heard of a nasalong piercing? So I'm not sure if I actually pronounced that correctly. I'm just going how it looks like it's pronounced. And yes, I have. If you have not heard of this piercing, basically it is a bar that goes through your nose. So it goes through one nostril, then goes through your septum, and then goes through another nostril, which is a lot. So I have heard of it before. It is a more extreme nose piercing. It's pretty cool, but it's not something that I personally would get. Nothing against it, it's just not for me. That wasn't your question. Your question was, have I heard of it? Yes, I have. Linda asks, do ear weights and ear hangers stretch your ears more, or are they safe to wear once you hit your target size? So there's a big difference between ear weights and ear hangers. Ear hangers are pretty much the same weight as just a normal plug or tunnel that you would put in, so it's not going to stretch your ears at all. However, ear weights are heavy and sometimes people will use them to kind of slowly stretch ears. So ear weights can potentially stretch your ears to a larger size. Ear hangers shouldn't. Giraffe Nice asks, what is the rejection rates of the rook piercing? Rook piercings have a relatively lower rejection rate just because they are a cartilage piercing. They're not a surface piercing. Surface piercings are going to be the ones that have a higher rejection rate. So with rooks, the rejection rate is low, but it's there. I don't know the exact percentage, but it's low. Green Tractor Girl asks, what age would you pierce your kid's ear for the first time? So I actually just had this conversation with a friend of mine. So for me, it comes down to whether or not the child is capable of understanding what is going on and can ask me to get a piercing themselves. If they don't understand or can't grasp the concept or just don't get it and they cannot ask me themselves, hey mom, can I get my ears pierced? Then I'm not gonna get it done. For me, I was 8 years old when I had my lobes pierced for the first time. I didn't go to a Claire's, but I did go to a local hair salon in my hometown where someone there happened to have a piercing gun. That's a story for another time. But I actually asked my mom, hey, can I get my ears pierced? So that's kind of where I am on that. I am very much against babies getting pierced, like at all. Very much against it. They can't comprehend, they don't understand what is going on, why there's suddenly pain in their ears. It's not good. So I'm very much against babies getting their ears pierced. As for children, as long as they can ask, hey, can I get a piercing? As long as they understand what that entails, like as long as they can care for it themselves, there's no like specific age for me. It was a really roundabout way of me to say, it depends. Mimi asks, I've heard bad things about sterling silver. Do you have an opinion of it and piercings while taking antibiotics? So I'm not quite sure like what you mean by the second part of the comment, like piercings and antibiotics. I mean, you can take antibiotics when you have a piercing. But as for sterling silver in piercings, you'll hear different things from people regarding sterling silver. It is not by any means a good initial jewelry metal option. So if you have just gotten your ears pierced, sterling silver is probably not the metal that you want to choose for an initial jewelry in there. But once it's healed, it can be okay. Some people develop an allergy to it. It can tarnish easier. It can also bend and break because it's softer. You'll hear different things about it. I personally do not like sterling silver in my piercings, but that's just me. I like titanium. Emma Louise asks, would you ever get face tattoos and how do you feel about them? I don't know if I would ever get a face tattoo like directly on my face. I mean, technically I do have a face tattoo. My eyebrows are tattooed. I know what you mean, like an actual tattoo, not a cosmetic one. I don't think I'd ever get a face one, like in this area. However, I would definitely get neck tattoos. I've got one on the back of my neck. I just don't think I'd get anything like from the jaw up. But I say that now. Maybe I'd get something eventually. It's just not for me. I like some. I've seen some really cool face tats, but I don't think I would get one myself. Anime Lover asks, what's your opinion on dermal piercings? Face, chest, hands, etc. I don't personally want any, but I'm interested in how you feel about them. I think they look really cool as long as they're done well and done in a spot that makes sense. I used to want like a chest dermal right here, but I've watched too many videos of how dermals are done and my dumbass would rip it out and that would be the end of that. I don't see myself getting any dermal piercings, but I think they look really cool if done correctly and done in a spot that makes sense. Because some people get them in spots where I'm just like, really? Why? Ceptual asks, when is it safe to change a nose stud? When your nostril piercing is healed, which can take 2 to 4 months. You should err on the side of precaution and wait for that 4-month mark. So not until then. Pat asks, when are you going to give us the details on your lower lip piercing? I already have. You can go watch the video over there. Mike asks, I'm seriously considering a tattoo, but I'm a hemophiliac. Just how much bleeding is involved? So this varies person to person, but the first thing I'm gonna say is to consult your doctor as well as a tattoo artist. Like whatever tattoo artist you're looking at getting something done from, consult with them and consult with your doctor. To answer your question about how much bleeding is involved, it depends person to person. It depends on what you're getting. It depends on the size of what you're getting. It depends on if you're getting color or not. A lot of variables go into it. Lily asks, least painful place to get tattooed. So for me, because my pain tolerance seems to have plummeted since I got my ditch pierced, and I can't handle a whole lot right now, I would have normally said a bicep. This tattoo over here that takes up this whole part didn't hurt at all. This tattoo over here that's brand new that takes up this side hurt like I don't know what. So it really just depends on your pain tolerance, because one bicep didn't hurt for me, but the other one did. So it's like, I don't really know what to tell you. I will say probably the outside of my lower part of my leg and on the outside, not necessarily the calf or like the inside, but the outside. That wasn't too bad. And I will also say tattoos for me start off great. And then after about 2 hours, I'm sitting there going like, this is the worst thing on earth. So yeah, pain tolerance plays a lot into that. Horse Mad Lily asks, what do you think about getting your lower belly button pierced? Too much with the normal one, or I think it looks cool. And I don't think it's too much if you have like a regular navel piercing. I don't think it's too much as long as you don't have like large jewelry in there. I think it can look pretty cool. Princessa asks, have you heard of the ceptual piercing? What are your thoughts on it? I've heard of the piercing, but I didn't know that's what it was called. So when I looked it up, I was like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I just didn't realize that was the name of it. So if you don't know what it is, I'm gonna read you the definition. A ceptual piercing is a complex piercing that involves stretching a previously acquired septum piercing into a higher gauge and then piercing the bottom of the nose through the cartilage and connecting it to the stretched septum. So basically it's just a piercing that's right here at the tip of your nose, but the under part of it, and it goes up into your septum. I don't know if you necessarily have to get into your like septum. All I know is the piercing is basically right here and it goes through the septum. That just seems like a lot. Again, another very complicated nose piercing. It looks cool if done right. I personally would not get it. Vanessaraptor asks, what's an extreme body mod you love but would never get? Actually for me, this is a toss-up. I absolutely love elf ears and I also love split tongues, but I would never in a million years get either because I've watched videos of recovery for it and it's just like, nope, nope, nope. That's a whole lot of nope. And I know the end result is great, but that's a whole lot of nope. But I love the look of both. T-Kin asks, do you like color tattoos or black and gray tattoos better? I personally like color tattoos on me, but I love the look of gray and black tattoos. Love them. I just personally wanted some color on me. Kay Bradley asks, I want to get both my nostrils pierced. Should I do them at the same time or separate? I would definitely recommend doing one first and then get the other one after the first one is healed. Yes, you can get both done at the same time. I just personally wouldn't, and I would personally recommend against it, but it really just depends on what you are willing to take care of, because healing 2 nostril piercings at once can be a pain. I mean, healing 1 nostril piercing at a time is a pain, but healing 2 can be a little rough. Holly asks, are you planning on getting more facial piercings? At this time, yes. I say that because I still want to do like the double nostril thing, but I still cannot make up my mind if I want them side by side or one above the other. I think I'm leaning toward one above the other. I think think that's what I'm doing. So yes, I'm still planning on more facial piercings. Will I get them anytime soon? That will be like later in the year, if I get that done. Denio asks, is it normal for piercing bumps to last 12 to 18 months, even with proper aftercare? Yes and no. Sometimes piercings are just a pain in the butt. They're ornery. They just want to act up. I had a bump on my first helix piercing for probably 2 years before all of a sudden it decided it wanted to be fine. Even with proper aftercare, a piercing bump can stick around or pop back up after it's gone away. If you're doing the proper aftercare, something to look into is potentially like what kind of jewelry you have in there. Maybe your body just doesn't like that kind of metal. Sometimes it'll just go away on its own. So yes and no, it's normal to have a bump after that time. You don't usually see it after that time, but that doesn't mean that it can't be there after that time. CK asks, what's your opinion on solid gold and threadless jewelry? I love threadless jewelry. I'm pretty sure pretty much all of my jewelry is threadless. As for solid gold, gold is an okay metal to have in a piercing. I personally don't use it because again, titanium is what I like the most, but gold is a good option. Kian asks, do you think piercings should be allowed in schools? Definitely. It's like one of those things like, should piercings be allowed in the workplace? Absolutely, because piercings don't dictate whether someone can do the job correctly or get their work done in timely fashion or anything like that. It doesn't dictate someone's intelligence. It just dictates someone's opinions of someone else, which is stupid. But yes, I do think piercings should be allowed in schools. And if people are distracted by piercings, well, that's their own problem. Dan Orty asks, what would you say to someone before piercing their septum? Good luck, have fun. Do your research before you get it done, but it's one of my favorite piercings, so go for it. AVD asks, would you stretch your ears even more? As of right now, no. I'm very happy with the size that they are at. However, I do continue to play with the idea of stretching my second lobe piercings. Not there yet, but I might stretch them just a smidge. But as for like my main ones, I'm very content with where they are. Next question is from YXX3. What jewelry brands do you like? For example, Neometal and Anatometal. So pretty much all of my jewelry, for the most part, is Anatometal. Is that how it's pronounced? I know that's what it is, but the example you gave is what I use. I absolutely love it. I've never had any problems with it before. So yeah, that's what I like. And that's what the shop where I get my piercings done carries. And the last question is from Raquel. Can you use Bioflex jewelry in your nipple piercing? I can't speak from experience because I don't have my nipples pierced, but I don't see why you couldn't. However, I would do your research before using any kind of jewelry that you're unsure about. So that is it for February's Body Mods Q&A. Thank you to everyone who submitted a question. Again, if I didn't get to yours, it's because someone else asked it or I've answered it a lot of times before. And if you want a question answered in March's Q&A, go ahead and drop them in the comments below or follow me on Instagram so you can ask there. Special thank you to my patrons. You can help support the channel on Patreon while having access to videos early, viewing patron-only content, and more. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big ol' thumbs up. Go down there and hit that subscribe button wherever it may be, because I don't know, even though I do. This is just my shtick now. Also hit that notification bell in case you want to know when I upload, and in case YouTube wants to let you know when I upload, because I would really appreciate it. And until next time, bye guys!